722 lives were killed. 200,000 people left homeless. More than $200 million worth of total cost of destruction. The results of the eruption of Mount Pinatubo last June 15, 1991, the second largest volcanic eruption in the 20th century, did not only impact the Philippines, but on a global scale as well. But how well do we know about volcanic eruptions? Are we prepared should this kind of disaster happen again?
First, it is very important to know what a volcano is. A volcano is basically a landform wherein molten or hot rocks with gaseous materials are emitted. It creates more than 80% of the Earth's surface. Those that exploded for the past 10,000 years are called active volcanoes, while there are those that are dormant in which it has no record of erupting for a very long time, but still have the possibility of exploding. And lastly, there are those which are already extinct or will no longer erupt. 75% of the world's active volcanoes are positioned in the Pacific Ring of Fire, a path along the Pacific Ocean. This is the reason why the Philippines has a lot of volcanoes. Our country belongs to the Pacific Ring of Fire. So, what are the hazards or possible things that you may encounter during an eruption? First is the pyroclastic flow. It is the fast flow of fragmented volcanic materials. It will burn everything along its path. Next is lava flow, or the flow of molten rocks. Usually, areas that are buried with this cannot be used or be habitable for a very long time. Ashfall, on the other hand, is the shower of fine to coarse-grained fragmented material due to the eruption. This can cause respiratory problems when inhaled. This is also the one we see on our roofs or all over a community near the volcano that had erupted. Next is the lahar, or the rapid flow of a mixture of volcanic materials and water. This is very dangerous, for it can bury areas under more than 1 meter thick of volcanic debris. Last is the volcanic gas. These are gases released from volcanoes such as water vapor, carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, hydrogen sulfide, and many more. These gases emitted by volcanoes can also cause serious health problems and even death.
With that being said, people often think that volcanic eruptions are undetectable and inevitable. While the latter is true, you can actually detect whether a volcano is about to erupt. In order to be ready for such calamities, remember the following indicators.
One of the primary indicators of volcanic eruption is an increase of the frequency of earthquakes in the area. So, if you're living within the vicinity of an active volcano and an earthquake or multiple earthquakes occur, get ready to pack your things and evacuate. People will also notice steaming or fumarolic activity spewing from the volcano. The steam will also turn into gray, indicating the matter inside the volcano turning into ash. Ground swelling or ground inflation also indicates an impending volcanic eruption due to magma intrusion. Alongside the crater or magma cracks will also start to glow. This may not be easy to spot for tourists, but locals, especially farmers, can tell whether the ground is swollen. Another indicator is sudden abundance of landslides that are not caused by heavy rainfall. Once again, if you're living near mountains and an active volcano, also keep track of the weather, as well as the occurrence of landslides. If the ground or vegetation around the crater starts to dry up, it can also indicate the awakening of a volcano. Similarly, if the springs surrounding the area start to dry up, this is also one of the indicators. So, if it isn't usually the time of the year wherein there is drought, yet crops and vegetations are prone to dryness, you might want to consider evacuating or reporting to your local government units.
In order to be prepared for this kind of disaster, we should know what should be done in order to have a safe and organized preparation for evacuation. If you are under the volcano warning, here are some of the few steps you need to take in order to be ready before the volcanic eruption.
1. Evacuate immediately. If you live or are staying within the radius of affected areas, long before the explosion, affected areas would have been given a warning to evacuate the premises by local government units. 2. Stay tuned to news and your local community's channels. This will help you to be on top of the situation and stay informed with local safety plans and evacuation areas. Whether it's through local radio, TV news, or official social channels of news outlets, make sure that you're getting reliable information from trusted sources and not potentially dangerous misinformation from hoax accounts. 3. Charge your electronics. Keep your mobile devices and power banks charged in case of power interruptions. 4. Lastly, know disaster hotlines and other emergency hotlines. Make sure that you have listed all the emergency hotlines in your designated barangays.
After doing the said things before the eruption, one should also know the important things to bring should there be evacuation.
Your go bag should have the following: a mask per person, copies of your personal documents, mobile phones and power banks, flashlights and batteries or candles and matches, 3 gallons of portable water per person, 3 days worth of non-perishable food, hygiene and sanitation items, first aid kit and maintenance medication, and extra cash. Upon following the steps before the volcano erupts, as much as possible, don't panic. Keep calm and engage quickly with your community to ask for help.
During a volcanic eruption, it is also important to know what to do to stay safe.
While experiencing the disaster, make sure to be calm and be mindful. Listen to the announcement, and if you're warned to evacuate the area, leave immediately for your safety. If you're at home, close the windows, doors, and turn off heating and air conditioning systems. If outside at the time of the eruption, seek shelter. Don't forget to wear a mask or use a handkerchief to cover your mouth and nose. Protect yourself with the use of gears and proper clothing, as this will help you to be safe from ashfall. When the situation worsens, seek help from the rescue team or people around you. Take essential items with you when you go to the evacuation area. Be sure to bring a medicine kit, flashlights, food, water, and automobile's emergency kit. In case you feel any symptoms, call the emergency hotline and consult your doctor.
Even after a volcanic eruption, we must still be cautious of our surroundings.
Do not leave your house or indoor shelters until notified by the local government. Keep an eye on your kids and loved ones who may be tempted to go out to see what's going on. After hearing from the LGU that it is safe to go outside, you may start clearing out ash, but remember to use protection. Wear masks or a damp cloth, glasses or goggles, long sleeves, pants, and shoes when clearing out ash to protect your lungs and eyes. You must also clean your gutters and roof with water to prevent corrosion. If you have pets and animals with you, keep them indoors at all times. Wash away any ash on their paws or skin to keep them from ingesting the ash, and provide them with clean drinking water as well. You must still be alert and listen for further announcements and be ready.
Here are the hotline numbers that you should remember in times of the disaster.
People do not take mitigation and disaster preparedness seriously, when in fact, it's one of the most crucial aspects of survival.
Volcanic eruptions can be frightening, but with some preparation and close following of official instructions, you can reduce the risk of being blindsided by a blast.
Mitigating the risk requires knowing when, why, and how volcanoes erupt. What we can do is be prepared and be aware of how this will affect us.
Volcanic eruption is a natural disaster and something that we cannot avoid from happening.
It starts with you. Be the start and be the change.